Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Canning House. I'm through my family of Ireland, and there's a famous Irish saying which says, "Before I speak to you, I've got something to say." And what I have to say is that tonight we have the advantage of serious thinking by experts from Colombia, Rodriguez-Munera and Rodriguez-Munera, at a functioning Canning House, the Latin American Centre in London, so well supported by those two countries, Colombia and Mexico, whose presence we have here tonight through their ambassadors, Mauricio Rodriguez-Múnera. We live in a world of sound bites, quick talk, and no thinking. Tonight we're going to discuss a permanent problem. We're going to be talking about a permanent problem that needs analysis, debate, and solutions. The speakers tonight, I think, will give that. 10, 12 years ago, an occasion like this would have been impossible from Colombia. 2012, front page of Time magazine, a couple of months ago, President Santos of Colombia. Now, that is progress. If I were a Colombian, I would be proud, and I would be doubly proud to come to an occasion where Colombian experts try to solve problems of worldwide application. On behalf of Canning House, I welcome all our guests and speakers, and I welcome you too. If it's your first visit, come again. If it's your second, enjoy the drinks as always.
Good evening, Lord Brennan, Charles. Thank you very much to Canning House for hosting this event. Thanks to all of you for accepting our invitation to discuss anti-drug policies, the Colombian case, the Colombian experience. Before we begin, I wish to thank Canning House for hosting not only this event, but the most important debates that are taking place in the UK in relation to Latin America are happening in this very, very special institution. And I want to express our gratitude and appreciation for this contribution to the progress of not only Colombia, but the rest of Latin America as well. Today, we are privileged to have with us four very distinguished speakers. Virginia Comolli, co-author of a very good book, Drugs, Insecurity, and Failed States, The Problems of Prohibition. Virginia is currently a researcher at the IISS, the very prestigious think tank specialized in security. His Excellency Eduardo Medina Mora, Mexican ambassador to the Court of St. James, former Attorney General of Mexico, and a very dear friend. And from Colombia, we have imported temporarily two very distinguished scholars, Dr. Daniel Mejia, professor and researcher at the Economics Department of Los Andes University, one of the two top universities in my country, and Dr. Alejandro Gaviria, Dean of the Economics Department of Los Andes University, and one of the most respected opinion leaders of Colombia. He writes a weekly column published by El Spectator on Sundays. For all of you who want to follow his ideas from now on, I'm sure that he will have at least 100 and so more readers. And Dr. Gaviria and Dr. Mejia wrote and compiled a series of articles about the anti-drug policies in Colombia. This book was published last year in Colombia, and we will have its version in English very soon. We will send it to all of you interested in receiving the book in its English version. You have been sent several chapters in English, a PDF version of the book, but we hope to to give you the book, the physical book, shortly. So what we will do in the next hour and a half is that Dr. Mejia and Dr. Gaviria each will speak for 15 minutes, and then Virginia and Ambassador Medina Mora will make some comments, 10 minutes each, about what Dr. Mejia and Dr. Gaviria are going to share with us. And then we'll have a Q&A session for 30, 40 minutes. After that, we will invite all of you to a glass of wine in honor of our distinguished speakers and panelists. But before passing the word to Dr. Gaviria, I wish to summarize in 2 minutes, just give me 2 minutes, to express the main ideas of President Santos' government in relation to this very delicate and complex issue. President Santos has said very clearly that we are frustrated with the results of the so-called war on drugs, because even though Colombia has made plenty of progress, for example, we have been able to reduce coca cultivation in my country by more than 58%, according to United Nations figures in the past decade. The production and distribution of cocaine is moving to other countries in Latin America. And the violence, unfortunately, is spreading to other nations. And still in Colombia, violence is very high, and we need to make sure that those numbers come down as fast as possible. And of course, we are all suffering from the waste, the opportunity costs of spending millions and billions of dollars in fighting drug production and trade, money that should have been spent, should have been invested in schools, in hospitals, in roads, in other alternative investments, which would have been the easier way of taking out of poverty millions of Colombians and Latin Americans that still need a significant investment from the state. So President Santos has proposed to the international community to have a high-level comprehensive evaluation of the costs and benefits of all the options to deal with the problem, open our mind and have an evidence-based, led by scholars and scientists, discussion of all these alternatives. A discussion, a debate that has to be non-ideological, has to be based on facts, has to be pragmatic. And of course, it has to deal both with the supply and demand for drugs. This is, according to President Santos, this is a global problem that needs a global solution. That's why Colombia will not act unilaterally. And until we don't change the model, the paradigm, the approach, the strategy to deal with the problem, Colombia will continue fully committed to the current battle against drugs. But we hope to change the model again to make sure that we have much better results. At the America Summit that took place in Cartagena, Colombia, recently, there was green light approval by all the countries that participated, 34 nations of the Americas, to conduct this analysis that will be coordinated by the Organization of American States with the inputs of experts and scholars and scientists. And we hope that the conclusions, the recommendations, the different scenarios that this analysis will design, will be the basis for a discussion that hopefully should take place in United Nations as soon as possible. Last but not least, just to clarify, this is obvious because we're talking about scholars and very prominent experts. Dr. Mejia's and Dr. Gaviria's analysis and ideas are completely independent from Colombian government influence. They do not necessarily reflect the government's opinion, but we are very happy to have them here because we believe that their ideas are an excellent contribution. They are extremely important contributions to the debate because of the rigor and depth of their research and their analysis. So, Dr. Gaviria, thank you very much again for your presence. Dr. Mejia, Virginia, Eduardo, and please share with us your findings.